Since I let out a bit of oil out of the gearbox when I was fixing the likes of that gasket and the PTO selector lever on the other side, I want to top it back up, so it's just there, it's a bit too low. So I have filled in some Miller's Pistonese 40 weight SAE mineral oil into my oil lad here, and what I do is you give him a twist and it pumps it into the jug. So I'm going to fill up a bit of oil and start tipping it into the gearbox. So I'll give this a quick loosen. I put on that copper gas washer. It's actually a little bit bigger because I think the Ferguson 21s are just a slight bit. But actually I know the nut size is a little bit bigger, and I have 2 gallons of oil. So what I do with this is I pour in a gallon and I just give it a few minutes, because it has to make its way from the gearbox into the back axle. But 2 gallons should bring that up a nice bit. Is it gallons? Is it? USA 2.5. It's not gallons, no. Litres, must be. 2 litres. It must be more than 2 litres than that. It's getting a nice drop of oil, that's what we'll put it down as a nice drop of oil. And that's sort of flying into it there. And then we'll check our this Miller's Classic Pistonese oil is fantastic stuff. It's all I use. It's expensive, but it's full of zinc, and that is kind of an anti-wear agent. So if it does what it's meant to do, it'll keep all those bearings happy. And then I dare say now it's after bringing it up yet, that has to move into the back axle, but I'll at least take out the dipstick, give it a wipe, and be ready for checking it. Yeah, I'd say we need to go for more oil. So that's no harm. In with our spout. Oh, pipe is a little bit stiff, so it kind of likes to go its own way. Now, get her primed and pumping. It's a lovely piece, this. Slow, but it's handy, and I'm sure you could nearly fill it into an engine, only for you have to, well, you could use a dipstick, I suppose, to measure. Or at least when I'm pouring into this jug, I know exactly what I'm putting into it. Which isn't really much of a help, considering I don't know what's already in it. So I suppose I literally could pump this in. So, I think the quicker and easier way, now that this is full, is to start pumping. And then I can check the dipstick. It's a lovely little vintage item, this. And the name is there. Bales. Must be German or something. We'll see if that's come up a little bit. It was halfway up, the W hasn't come up yet, so we'll keep pumping. Might throw the jug into it then and go back using the pump. It's not very fast, but it's nice and controlled. So I might service my engines using this now. And keep an eye on my dipstick then. I needed a good sup of oil, and the reason why I'm doing this is, apart from the fact it's low, my family were up over Christmas and both these tractors were brought for a spin by my brother and my father. And it's only after I realised the oil was a bit low. No big panic. So still, it's nice to get the level back up, and then we can see if there's any leaks. Yeah, it's definitely taking the time going back into the back end, which is no harm. In other news, the rad drain tap is finally dry. That took some serious, well, it was fairly tight now by the time it stopped leaking, and I didn't want to keep over tightening. I slowly brought it up to tension until it stopped leaking, so I didn't. I wanted to tighten it the least amount just to get it sealed, but it took a good bit, and I didn't really want to take off the original one, but I just couldn't get it sealed. And it's not like the block drain taps. You can strip them, and you can take out the cone shaped lad in the middle and run it over a cloth with a bit of metal polish, and you can get them to reseal. You can't really take them apart, but it won't be seen anyway. But I will have a look at the old rad drain tap, and if I can pull it apart, I don't think I can. If I can, I'll pull it apart and I'll recondition it. The same thing, a bit of metal polish. Usually what happens to them is a bit of rust in the bottom of the rad gets drawn down into the cone shaped lad, and it starts scoring it when it's tightened, and it lets water past it. Now I'm going to let all of that settle, because there's a nice bit after going into it, and I'm going to, while that's settling, I was doing a little job over here on the Ferguson 20. Now I've replaced the PTO seal in this twice, and it's still weeping, so I think the PTO shaft is actually warped. So what I've done is I got a selection of O-rings, and I just glued the best fitting one, which is this one, on, and I'm hoping now if I just tighten that, it just should contain the oil. It's not bad leak, but it was just something I noticed on the tractor was a drop or two, and I said it's just that much there, so I said this will just keep it under control, and I can drain it then into a jug when I want. I probably have to buy a new PTO shaft. I don't think there's any getting away from that at some point. Yeah, we're coming up now slowly, so I'll leave that for another few minutes and see how we get on. So slowly getting through the jobbings that need to be done. Because the engine only got a gallon of oil, I'm fairly sure it needs a little bit more. I'm going to bring it up to that second line. That was all that was in the drum. So, oops, not good. Not good. It's a very, very stiff pipe. You nearly need to be holding it. So maybe if I put the camera on the tripod. Oh, could be empty. Oh no, we're spinning away. No, we're not. That's your lot. So it's after getting a bit anyway. I'm just going to wipe up that spillage. That should do no harm. Oh. And we can throw in a bit more from the millers. So another little job will bring that other engine oil level up. So I checked the oil level and it's just up to full, so I just decided to take off. This is a bit wide and tatty looking, and I just put on a nice O-ring. So I don't know, is it going to, it should actually sit down into that chamfered surface there now, and it's not going to be, not that there's any pressure going to be on it, like, so it should seal it up okay. I'll get the spanner then and just give that a tighten up, but it's a lot neater looking than that anyway. At least you can't see it. I'm just bringing the gold belly out for a little bit of a spin. It's up to temperature, it's on TVO, and I'm just letting it, it's just adjusting the idle jet, so I'm just letting it tick over basically here and see is there any spitting or farting. It sure sounds sweet since that valve clearance was done. I definitely have to put this seat back. Might adjust it back because my feet are fairly far forward and the cushions are pushing me forward as well. So the purpose of this is just let it run down the hill, and if the jetting is a little bit off, it'll spit and fart. So try into third gear now. Stopped raining, so I'm just making the most of it. We're looking straight down to the Atlantic Ocean there. Beautiful evening. Just going to pull in and let a van pass. Oh, he's gone the other way. That's okay. Sure is beautiful. Temperature staying nice and steady at 80 degrees. Engine sounding lovely, brakes are good. The clunking's gone out of the transmission after shimming up the 2 half shafts. I'm happy. I'm literally just letting it labour its way along, amble along. Looking over there to the Aran Islands. The next stop after that is America. It's a lot quieter of an engine than the Ferguson 20 diesel, I can tell you that much. So it's after getting a good spin there. No issues at all. It's well up to temperature now. Went up and down hills, down the main road. So now I'll be able to check the gearbox oil level now after I started throwing it around a bit. Make sure that is okay. Well, maybe I should do when I stop. Either gear's running in there. So this is always the best time to adjust your idle jet. Our float doesn't seem to be stuck. That's good. It's not leaking there. It's good to get all the moisture off the engine because there was a lot of condensation hanging around the last few days with the damp weather. Now, still moisture on some parts of the engine. Yeah, I'm happy with that.